Hi there, this is Nathan Martin. I'm Fish Krakowski. We are here to talk about Episode 5, Chapter 5 of The Mandalorian, The Gunslinger.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, and if you ever were wondering what happened to R5D4.
I can't believe you had that in your pocket.
I already did. It was a weird coincidence. Anyway, if you ever wondered what happened to R5D4, and maybe EV99 was running the bar, and speeder bikes, and the cantina, and the chair where Han Solo shot Greedo,
Yep.
and the Tusken Raiders. I mean, this was probably the most fan servicey episode. Like, I like this show because of the new things it shows us.
Yeah.
This was not that, but well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
How did you feel?
I actually, I've watched it a couple of times now. On first viewing, I liked it, and on second viewing and third viewing, I actually liked it even more than I liked the fourth episode.
Yeah.
I really kind of like what it said. Like, I know we went back to Tatooine and stuff like that, but I really kind of liked what the episode was saying about if you follow the conclusion that there is no empire, then a place like Mos Eisley, which when we first visited it in A New Hope was like, it's all heavily populated and everyone's all in these bars and stuff like that. But the Empire were the police. And they notably show that, like the helmets are on the spikes and stuff like that, but the town's dead.
Yeah.
Like, no one's in there. No one's around anymore.
Yeah, I heavily noticed that too. I clued into that, and there's a couple explanations for it, but it's cool no matter what. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't have to be explained. In my head, I'm like, oh, you don't need to hide out on the Outer Rim anymore.
No.
So Mos Eisley literally is this, like, I'm trying to think of not a swear way to say, but like sort of and I don't want to make fun of Leduc, but anyway, you see what I'm getting at, right? Like, it's just like it's a frontier town, and there's no need for that anymore. Like, civilization has kind of rebooted, Yeah.
I found that really, really interesting.
Well, and so this is one of two kind of new things they showed us, which I was like, here's that was all a setup, right?
All right.
My favorite thing. So again, we had, like, in the first episode, Baby Yoda, who I call Yoga, the hairy egg.
Yes.
Right, and sort of this is the way.
Yeah.
Like, these were all new things we kind of learned. What I loved about this episode, just this minor little detail, but it's like when they're trying to cross the desert and they get to the Tusken Raiders.
Yes.
And then it's like, ask them yourself. But he does this like talking heads kind of like sign language thing.
Yeah.
Gets them across. I just love that. I like that they mentioned that it's not their land. That's like, the Tusken Raiders have been reliably monsters always. So I mean, I wouldn't say they're good people necessarily. Like they for sure murdered Anakin's mom and made him, pushed him down a path.
There was definitely,
and I mean, they go after the weak, right? Like, they went
Yes.
after Luke and stuff like that. These guys are tougher, so maybe they're a little more like, whatever. I liked it. It was great. It was nice to, like, give them something more than we're just monsters.
Instead of
yeah. Like, how do you build a civilization?
And I love that it was all sign language. Like, it was not something I was expecting to happen. I thought that was just like, oh, well, there's a really unique idea.
Yeah, so that was great. What about, there's really three roles in here. There's Peli, which is Amy Sedaris.
Yep.
And her hair is magnificent.
I know,
I love how she goes for, like, this. She's so ridiculous. Like, it's beautiful, right?
I thought she was awesome. I love that, because at first, when she first shows up, you're like, I don't really know what to make of this character. But as soon as she starts, like, you got some carbon scraping on here. Like, it becomes like the used car repairman. Like, if you don't put oil in here, you don't put oil in. And you're just like, because the episode started with just a space fight that was not led into from the previous episode. So you're like, okay. So, and then we ended up on Tatooine. I thought she was fantastic. I loved how they used the cute moment of Baby Yoda walking down the platform. She sees it and basically goes, if I take care of you, I can charge your boss more money.
Yeah, it's like it's back to these, like, Carl Weathers sort of like I just love that there's a universe that has, like, now Carl Weathers, Brian Posehn, Werner Herzog, like, they're all, like, it's just nuts. Anyway, so she rules. We love her.
Yep.
And there's a bit at the end. Well, maybe I'll save that. But
Okay.
then we get to Toro, which is Jake Cannavale.
Yeah.
And he's sort of like this Sopranos, like disposable guy, like a friend of Christopher or something who is doomed, right? But I think I had kind of a mixed reaction to him, but I still thought he was all right. And then that was where I'm just like, oh, really? You have to sit exactly where Han Solo is just to make us feel that
I
way?
know.
It's sort of their version. Like it's a very Dave Filoni episode.
Yes.
But so it's their version of doing a solo movie. It's like, okay, well, here's our young Han Solo.
I thought that he was good. He served the purpose of what obviously the plot wanted him to serve. Sort of like the cocky, like I just need to do. I think he was a little too easy to be duped with the whole like that kind of thing. But in the same breath, it's like he's like a young cocky guy who thinks he's got the. He really feels like in this world where now Mos Eisley is basically a deserted town, he thinks he's hot stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not swearing. And he thinks he's
steaming hot stuff.
He's steaming hot stuff. And in that world, it kind of works because there's no one to tell him no. Like there's no one really to put him in his place. And then Mando shows up and it's just like, yeah, kid, you're not gonna last 2 minutes if you go out there by yourself.
It's very frontier. It's very alien. It's both Western and alien enough. Like he goes through a lot mentally, where it's sort of like getting tricked by her, and then to the point where he spoilers shoots her kind of thing. So and then what about
Ming-Na?
Fennec Shand? Yeah.
Oh, I've been a fan of Ming-Na Wen for freaking ever.
She's on all those TV shows.
She's a fantastic actress, and in seeing her, cause watching the episode, I completely forgot that she was even cast in the show, and I was like, oh, I did that thing, like totally marked out, fanboyed. I was like, that's it. And even though she's only on screen for a brief moment, because she's the target, but in the same breath, it was just, I thought she did a great job. I loved it, and I know that she gets shot in the stomach. I don't think she's dead at all. I really don't. I think the kid.
I think she's dead.
You really do?
Yeah,
I
do.
I don't think she's dead. I don't think they have. I honestly don't, just because of the way the episode ended with whoever shows up and was like, ooh,
we'll get to that.
cliffhanger. But I think she did a great job of, in the short amount of time that she's got to manipulate the kid, to basically be like, hey, I hear. Okay, small nitpick. Mm-hmm. The fact that she's like, I heard there was a Mandalorian who may or may not have been carrying a child. Like, if the network of rumors is that big that her character way out alone on desolation Tatooine is like, I heard through the grapevine that there may be a Mandalorian with a child, because she brings up how rare it is to see them. Yeah. And that's the thing that clues the gunslinger into, like, oh, well, maybe.
But that dead bounty hunter had a fob.
Yes.
And I don't know if that fob was for her. I kind of read it as, this is a Baby Yoda fob, because everyone has it, because it is a big story. But I'm with you. Star Wars has a real tendency to, for example, have Anakin Skywalker be immaculately born on that planet, and then build C-3PO. Yeah. And then, like on and on and on. And that's where Boba Fett...
That's a magical planet.
That's where Boba Fett dies. Yeah, so maybe we could get to that end point, because we got excited watching it. I'm like... we were both just like, whoa, what if a show called The Mandalorian ends up with Boba Fett having crawled out of the Sarlacc pit, and then he's chasing Mando? I think I love that idea.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah. I think that's kind of what they were sort of teasing into, because I know a lot of people...
It looked like him. I don't think it is. I think it's that Imperial guy. Like,
you think it's Werner Herzog?
No, he's got a boss. Remember they kind of mentioned...
Yeah.
Chlorians. So there's another actor coming in. I don't know his name, unfortunately, but basically there is someone else coming in. So no spoilers at all. So I think that maybe we're good direction anyway, right? Boots, cape. Is it?
Who could it be?
Yeah. So that was great. And then anything else to say about that? I mean, I know I just dropped that on you.
To be honest, as subtle as it has been in the past episodes, the score in this episode, when they get on those speeder bikes, I loved it.
Yeah,
I was sitting there going like, we're on an adventure and we're going somewhere. And I really enjoyed the score for this episode because it's very subtle.
Yeah.
For a lot of the other episodes, a lot of like little teases, but it really felt like someone was like, okay, like just let it go. We're gonna score this.
Ludwig Göransson is the John Williams of this show for
Yes.
sure. Like he's absolutely getting in, and he's doing really cool, weird stuff. I just listened to Tom York's Anima, and I'm like, oh, that's where you're kind of getting this like, stuff from, clicking and stuff. It's great, yeah. And then one more. I like that moment. I don't want to linger forever, but I felt that the episode kind of didn't feel super tense until that kind of like deal that Fennec was making with Toro.
Yeah.
Right? And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is getting kind of like, it just felt darker, and then he shoots her, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's the show. This is the Mandalorian that I really liked in the first like 3 episodes.
Yeah, it wasn't, I felt like it kind of, coming after 4, it sort of made you feel like, he's not going to do anything. He's not really going to let her go. Like, they've built up this thing, and I like the fact that they basically took one episode to be like, we're going on an adventure off to this planet. We helped those people. We're okay. Now we're on Tatooine. And because of that one episode, you as an audience are going like, okay, well, he's going to end up being a good guy because we just had a planet full of good guys. That the Mandalorian, oh no. And then on top of that, Mandalorian shoots the heck out of him. And it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and there's also something, everybody is making this point over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, just, he doesn't hesitate, he just shoots them, basically. Yeah. Like, so it's like, and this is literally, like, right near where Han and Greedo had that very controversial thing. In the movie Solo, again, like, he just shoots Woody Harrelson. Like, everybody just keeps making that point. No, don't do this.
Don't wait. Yeah. You just pull the trigger and you go.
I got one last thing to say, and it's pretty minor. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but Baby Yoda, the child, like he sort of started talking. Amy Sedaris picks him up, and he goes like, and I love it. Man, this guy's gonna be like, he's gonna talk cute too. So
I was curious because I've seen it a couple of times, and the way that the mix is like she picks up the baby, but there are the droids have a very similar sound to when they're talking. So initially, I wasn't sure if, okay, is it the droids talking to her, or is it the baby talking to her? Because every time it's a shot on Baby Yoda's face, it's very more like an infant child sound, like whoa, whoa, whoa. Whereas you've got the
pit droids.
Thank you, the pit droids. And you got the pit droids who have like So. I hear exactly what you're saying, but I was confused as to, is that supposed to be Yoda or the pit droids?
I think it's supposed to be Yoda or Yoga, and or whatever you want to call him. He's gonna get a name soon. But I also really liked seeing those pit droids. Like I like how he's pulling the prequels back in. Like that's the Clone Wars made the prequels better. Mm-hmm. This show is also doing that.
I loved at the end of I honestly loved at the end of the episode where she was just like, "Okay, guys, take him away." Yeah. And they're like, "Where?" Like, I don't know. Take him up to the Dune Sea for all I care. Like, and they literally just start dragging this dead body.
I don't know. Drop him in Beggar's Canyon. That's what she said. So yeah, nice little riff. Okay, well, I think we've bored everybody. So may the force be with you. And, see you later.